Hey Gopher fans, welcome to the debut episode of Gopher Round Table presented by Affinity Plus, our new video-based podcast series where student athletes like myself host other Gopher student athletes. My name is Parker Fox, and I'm a member of our men's basketball team here at the U, and I will be your host for the first episodes before passing it along to the next of 5 different student hosts this year. So make sure you guys are following along. There's going to be a lot of Gopher athletes coming in and out of the podcast studio. But for this first episode, I'm super excited to be joined by 2 members of the Gopher men's hockey team, Bryce Brodzinski and Jimmy Snuggerud. Fellas, appreciate you guys being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
For sure. I think you guys kind of know about my love for Gopher hockey, which is why I think this is a cool podcast episode to start out with. For the viewers that don't know, me and my family have had Gopher season tickets our whole life. I grew up in Section 1, coming to Gopher hockey games, going to skating with the Gophers. Guys like Blake Wheeler, Kyle Rao, Jay Bearball, some of my favorite Gophers of all times. So this is a super cool episode for me to get started with, to talk to you guys. And I think we're going to start off with last weekend. You guys are fresh off a home-and-home series against Duluth. You earned a 5-1 convincing win on Friday. And then battled in a 3-3 tie on Saturday. Let's start there. So kind of to both of you, after that, a tough last weekend against Wisconsin, how important was it for you guys to, kind of bounce back, talk about kind of the week of practice you had, leading into that game on Friday where, I was up at the game and it was a convincing 5-1 win. You guys looked really good. So kind of how important was it for you guys to kind of bring your A game into that game on Friday?
We kind of got whacked on Monday in film, and it was well deserved. We played absolutely terrible that weekend before, and so the whole week of practice was really good, just because guys were kind of, we knew what we had to do to get back, and kind of keep the fans involved this year, and kind of prove to ourselves that we were supposed to be where we were at, and so that whole week of practice was actually really good. A lot of guys kind of dialed in, kind of took it a little bit more serious. We had meetings at the beginning of the week. It's kind of a when you're the first overall in the country, it's you kind of get complacent, and you kind of feel like you need to be there. Kind of takes away that drive, and so kind of getting pushed back on our heels a little bit and whacked at film, and that was kind of our biggest thing going into that weekend. And we played really good the first night, and didn't play too bad the second night. Their goalie was just really, really good. So. I thought it was an overall really good week, the entire week. Yeah,
and a great week for you. A pair of goals on Friday. You actually became the 61st Gopher to score 50 career goals, which is awesome. Congrats.
Thank you.
What does that kind of milestone mean to you? Obviously, being a Minnesota kid, probably watching the Gophers your whole life, seeing these guys score a lot of goals for the Gophs, and now you kind of joined that list. What does that mean to you?
It's obviously super cool. I didn't really know I was even that close, and so it's not something that you chase. It's something that just sort of happens, and it's kind of cool to be there for the moment, and then you just kind of carry on with your life. And so it's obviously super cool kind of seeing some of the names that I'm next to now, and just kind of super fortunate to be in that position. And Coach Motzko's done a really good job with me and always giving me kind of good spots to be in, whether it's on the power play or playing on good lines. And so just super grateful to be in that spot.
Yeah, and then Jimmy, you got one on Saturday after a couple games of not being able to get one. As a natural goal scorer, I find myself as a natural scorer as well. Like when you don't get one, it kind of probably frustrates you a little bit. You want to see the puck go in the back of the net. So how did that one feel? Getting that one Saturday, kind of getting that feel that puck go in the back of the net.
Yeah, it feels good, honestly. Just it'd be a little snake bit, I guess, a little for 4 games or so to not score. Bruce and I are the same way about that. Like we want to score goals, we want to put in the back of the net. If it doesn't happen, you try not to act it, but it's obviously in the back of your head all the time, and obviously you are that way too. But it obviously feels good. I wish we'd have got the win on Saturday, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I didn't get to catch that one, but from what I heard, it was a hard-fought battle. Two Minnesota teams going at it. It's always fun. So we put that one behind us. Now we're headed to Michigan coming up this weekend. I've watched a lot of Gopher Michigan hockey games. It's probably one of my favorites to watch. You talk about the Big Ten championships the last couple of years. The one last year at home was probably one of the more fun games I've ever been to in my life. Michigan, one of my favorite, games to watch you guys play against. They're coming off a sweep to Wisconsin, so they're going to come out desperate to look back, get in the win column. How does that kind of change your guys' preparation going into the game, knowing that they're probably a desperate hockey team right now?
I don't think it kind of changes much for us. I mean, we kind of know what they're going to bring, and they're a super offensive team, so sometimes you got to change your style, and we kind of wait for them to make mistakes. And Coach Motzko always draws up good plan against those guys, especially in conference teams. He's been against them quite a few times, so he kind of understands what we need to do, and it's more so just kind of getting guys dialed in on listening to him and knowing that he's right, and kind of taking his words at face value. And we kind of know that we have to kind of shell up and wait for them to make mistakes. And if we kind of get overextended trying to force mistakes, that's when they kind of take advantage. So they're going to play hard. I mean, it's always fun. They never want to lose to us, and we never want to lose to them. So it should be a good weekend overall. Yeah,
and both of you have seen Michigan many a times before. Many thrilling games. You mentioned the Big Ten tournament last year. Kind of like a little point of that was Pitter's goal the nastiest goal? Because for me, I watch a good deal of hockey, but I thought it was probably one of the nastiest goals I've ever seen live. Was it kind of surreal when you guys saw it live as well? It's like he just made this dude fall.
I mean, I was on the bench like what just happened? Can't believe this right now. Like I looked to my left and right, and like guys were just like hands over head, like, oh my gosh, this is insane.
That's one of the coolest moments too, when you get to like see your guys, like you're with these guys all the time, and they just make like a crazy move, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
it's so dumb too, because like his mind thought to like go through that guy's stick like 3 more times, like mine, like I would have done it one time. And
I'm like, shooting that thing.
Shoot the puck. I'm in a good spot, and he went 4 times back through the guy's stick, and that guy's. I mean, he's different. He's a guy that you go in practice and you're going out there against his line, you don't want to guard him.
No, I believe
absolute water bug out there. So
and I get to see it from my point of view, where it's like every time he's on the ice, like something electric's happening. He's like, feel like he's one of those guys where it's just like, maybe it's like not like the most like hockey way to do something, but like he just finds a way to get something done, and it's fun to watch. Talking about that, Michigan, like I said, this upcoming weekend, Yost Ice Arena. Obviously, I've never been there, but you guys probably have been there a couple times. One of the more unique barns in college hockey. Kind of talk about your experiences playing there, and how it compares to other places you get to play.
Yeah, I mean it's really, really cool place. I mean, the student section's right next to the bench and kind of right on top of you, and so it's obviously a pretty hostile environment, and they go there every single game, and their fans show out whenever they play against us. So it's obviously a really cool environment, and kind of whenever you get one of those rinks where the seats are right on top of you, it always feels like a little bit more packed. It's kind of like a Penn State vibe where the student section's all the way up to the rafters. So anytime you get into one of those like that, it just kind of feels a little bit more packed, and definitely one that you want to play in.
Yeah, and I'm sure it kind of ramps you guys up too. I think as competitors, people don't realize, like, you go into an away arena or, rink, and it's like, oh, it's so daunting. The fans are on top of you. It's so scary. But like, I mean, I'm sure you guys love it. You get to hopefully shush a crowd. That silence is the best feeling in my opinion. So, best of luck to you guys this weekend. Fans can catch that action on Big Ten Plus or listen to Frank and Wally on the radio. So let's dive into some questions. Both being Minnesota guys, playing at Minnesota, you get to face, a lot of premier teams, players. Who's the best? Who's the best player you've ever played against? This could be college, high school, international stage. I'll actually start that one off. Jalen Suggs. I played against Jalen Suggs one time. It was an all-star game. Pretty crazy story. Senior year, we were ready to tip the ball off at this all-star game, and it was a rep your own squad. So you have to wear your high school jersey or a jersey that you played for. We're literally about to tip the ball off, and the back door opens, and Jalen Suggs walks in, and we didn't tip the ball off. Everybody waited. He went and put his shoes on, and he took out his gold medal USA jersey and threw it on. Everybody's wearing like their high school jersey. And they win the tip, and I got switched down to him first play, and I'm like, oh no, like this is gonna be trouble. He puts his shoulder into me, I go flying, he hits a step back and hits a 3 to like start the game off, and I was like, this dude just walked to the gym. Like, and now you see he's playing in the league, and he's different. But going to you guys, both of you, who's the best? Who's the best guy you've ever played against?
I mean, I feel like this one's pretty obvious for me. Last year, I think just when we played Canada at the World Juniors, there was a few of those guys. Bedard, obviously, one of them. Fantilli at Michigan was always good. And guys like Korchinski, I don't know if you know him, it's just younger guys who got drafted. But, just playing against those guys and the pace that they play at, it's obviously really cool to watch, but it's even cooler to play against and to just see the release on, like guys like Bedard. It's pretty insane, honestly, and it was just cool to kind of get that experience to play against them.
As much as I hate hyping up Wisconsin, when Caulfield was at Wisconsin, it was COVID year. Every single time we played against him, he had 2 goals, 3 assists. Yeah. And it was like, you kind of don't even notice him sometimes. And then you look at the box score after the game, he's got 4 points. Oh. And it's like, I just remember in the Big Ten championship game, we were up by 1 or 2 or 3. And then all of a sudden, it's an offensive zone faceoff, and they win it right to Caulfield. And you close your eyes, and you hear the post go, and it's in the net. And it's just like ridiculous. Every single time he gets the puck in the offensive zone, it's a scoring threat. So he was definitely one of the. He wasn't necessarily hard to play against. It's just every single time that he got a shot, it was a threat. No matter if he was on the goal line or touching the wall, it's it's just one of those guys. And so I would say he was definitely always fun to watch. Definitely not fun to watch when he was playing against us, but he was a good player. Yeah,
no doubt. Kind of transitioning from that into talking about the U, talking about your guys' home barn, Mariucci. Been growing up going to games. Made the ice change this year. You guys have played in big games here at Mariucci. Jimmy, kind of what's it like to score one of those big goals or have one of those big assists in Mariucci? Because the student section's filled, the fans are crowded. You talk about like North Dakota games, Wisconsin games, those big games. What's scoring a goal like, kind of in that environment?
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly really weird because I grew up coming to a ton of games every weekend, and you feel like you're in the game when they score a goal, and then once you score a goal. And last year when I had my first, I felt like exactly when I was a kid, 9-10 years old. It's so weird because it's the same exact feeling, and then you look at the student section of the fans, and everyone's buzzing after it, and the fluid kind of gets rolling, the blood kind of gets going, and it's just like, it's honestly a feeling I can't really describe. It's just so butterflies in the stomach type feeling, and it's pretty weird.
Yeah, I mean, I even get kind of chills thinking about sitting up in the crowd, and you see a big goal and you just get up, and hockey's so unique in that way where it's like you get one, it's like you just feel like a second one's coming. And you win the face off, you get something going. It's like get the forecheck on, it's like, oh gosh, here comes another one. Like, you even when it like hits the post, you get like a a cross across the the crease, and it's like you hear the crowd go, oh, like that kind of emotion. Like, I think it's super fun. Bryce, kind of transitioning for you, your last season of college hockey here. You're rocking a letter this year as a captain. How what does that mean to you? Going through this program, being a part of this program for a long time, like being able to kind of represent your team with that on your chest.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's more so like, not in the fact that there's been a lot of guys that have come through here and worn the letter, and you kind of see the names that have gone through there, but it's more so it's a player vote on who gets to be the leader. So it's kind of cool kind of seeing when you get called that you're going to be a captain, it kind of shows that there's guys on the team that look up to you, and I think that's probably the best part about it is knowing that you're looked up upon as a leader, and not just by the coaches, it's by the team. So that's probably my favorite part about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Jimmy, we talked about Bedard and his shot, but you're no slouch yourself with that shot. Kind of talk about that. Obviously, playing last year with Nyzie and Cooley. You had such a powerful line. Everybody across the country knew you guys were going to score goals. But then this year, you kind of the lineups have been bouncing around, doing different things. Kind of talk about what you've kind of found your role in, and then talk about that 1T coming across. It's so fun to watch. It's electric.
Yeah, I think. With our lines right now, the roles are kind of changing a lot because we have so many good forwards. I think we're just kind of set on one, and Coach Matzo is kind of mixing up the lines a lot right now, which is can be a good thing early on in the season. I think as a role for myself, I feel like it's kind of the same. Shooting can be shot and make plays, but I think just like I said, the talent we have up front here, there's a lot of it, and we're gonna keep mixing around until we find a right set of guys, and I'm sure it'll come soon. Honestly, guys are, our young guys are really fitting in right now to our team. So just kind of having that patience and letting things come.
Bryce, have you ever played with a guy with a better shot? Be honest.
I don't know. Ruder's got a pretty good shot.
Yeah.
So maybe Max Rude.
Max Rude, huh?
Yeah, no, Fabes. Yeah, probably Fabes. Fabes had one of the harder shots. So
Mikey?
definitely not one that I'm not afraid to go in front of the net and tip. So
There you go. There you go.
maybe.
Yeah, go get that. Speaking of that, I gotta ask the white stick this year. So I sit up a little on top, and your stick kind of blends into the ice. What was kind of the idea going with the white stick? Is that something just happened or?
No, well, so CCM came in and we were doing like our fittings for our skates and stick and whatnot for the next year, and there was a goalie there, and I was asking him if it was harder to see, and he said no. So I got the stick to prove a point that it was for sure harder to see.
It's harder to see for me, for sure. I'm like,
but it's like goalies are like, you say, does black tape hide the puck? And they say no. Like I don't think it matters. But they're such liars. Like goalies are such liars. Like little things like that, I think, kind of get to them. And so
I'm sure this is something you talk to closer about. It's like
for sure. Yeah. And I mean, it kind of like I think I'm gonna switch back. Just because when I'm looking up, I can't even see where my stick is.
Heard it here first. You heard it here first.
Yeah, so I lose the puck half the time in practice because I'm looking up. I don't even know where my stick is on the ice. So, I don't know. It might stick. It might not. I don't know.
Yeah, talking about going through sticks, I think this is kind of like a unique question. Like, how many sticks do you guys go through? Obviously, probably just a bunch of them. But like, you talk about in a season, how many think you go through?
I don't even know. I would probably guess somewhere around, I don't know, 35.
Yeah, I was gonna say 40 or 50.
Yeah.
But there's like it's different for some people because like some people like they use a stick and it won't break, but it'll kind of like have a little bit too much give to it, so they'll get a new one. Where like some people like Jackson Nelson will use a stick until it's completely snapped in half just because he doesn't really care. So it's different for some guys. Some guys don't break sticks. Like some defensemen might break a lot more sticks just because they're crash checking people in front and slashing people, and then you get guys that are playmakers that don't shoot the puck very hard that probably won't break very many sticks. So it's a lot different for a lot of people, and kind of if you're a one-timer guy, you might break more sticks, or as opposed to you take snapshots. So
yeah, I think when I grew up playing on the ODRs from 4th grade to 8th grade, I had the same stick, and the toe was broken. But good thing it was no raise, just playing the post. So I was like, all right, just hit it to the post and you're good. I think we talk a lot about hockey culture, and you guys have that kind of culture when you headed into the rink. You guys like to dress up. You see the the flicks on Instagram. What goes into picking the pregame outfit for you guys each individually?
I mean, I honestly don't think about it too much. I've known guys, and I've played with guys who, have some crazy fits. I don't know. It's a lot of guys from the draft I knew last year who had some incredible fits, but I think it's just kind of simplicity, not overdoing it too much for me. I think just kind of, I don't know, classic blue or gray. I don't know. What do you think? Yeah.
No, I only had like 2 suits last year, so it was kind of I wore the same suit every single day. And this year my brother was cleaning out his closet, so I went over there and took about 4 or 5 suits. So yeah, no, I'm mixing and matching now, and it's kind of don't wear the same one twice in a row, but not afraid to wear it again the next weekend. So
yeah, I feel like it's so different with basketball. I remember when Isaac Howard got drafted, he wore the white suit, and he like tweeted something about
it's one of those guys I'm talking about.
But basketball's like the opposite, where it's like these guys are wearing like Russell Westbrook and Harden, they're wearing like the craziest fits, and Kyle Kuzma's dyeing his hair every game. It's like it's such a different flow.
Yeah.
Talking about that pregame style, I need to hear from both of you. Who's got the best drip, fashion, swag on the team, and who's got the worst?
Okay, I think I know who has the worst.
You could have a together answer too.
Yeah.
You guys could come to a conclusion.
Yeah.
Kurth has by far the worst.
Oh, I could have said that.
It's like
sparkle shoes.
It's so weird because it's like if you put that outfit on someone else, like an NBA player, I'd be like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like that's a cool outfit. But it's Kurth. So you see him wearing the outfit, and you're like, wow, I don't know about that. Like,
do you guys give it to him? Like, do you let him know, or is it more of a?
Sometimes just like let him do his thing.
Okay.
And
I don't know who has the best, honestly.
I don't know who has the best. Yeah, it's like it's a day-to-day thing. Everyone's different. Mikey Kester in a turtleneck, though, I would consider him being the best.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, he's a good-looking dude in a turtleneck.
You ever seen Pitter's suit? Remember that one he wore last year? That's his shirt. He has a
suit T-shirt.
Dan's gonna need to find a picture of the shirt, T-shirt, and pop it on for sure.
Might have to tell him to wear
Does
it
Mikey pop the chain over the turtleneck too, or is that more of a
Fabes
tuck it?
did last year.
Yeah.
Fabes did a couple times last year, and then we made fun of him, so he stopped.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah, no, not too many good-looking dudes. I feel like it's just a lot of. if you overdo it, it might be a little too much.
It's fair.
You do it the right way.
That's fair. I've always been intrigued with the suit and then, throwing the hat on top or like the beanie. You know, I think it's like, it's such a hockey swag move.
Oh, for sure.
Exactly.
I think it's just because most of us are waking up from a nap and don't want to shower and do our hair.
That's one of the cliches too. I think hockey players love using those cliches. Is there anyone that you kind of think about that you guys use and like why you use it specifically? Like whether it's like dressing up for a game or like, during a warm up, something you do and anything that like, stands out to you?
I don't know a lot of superstitions, honestly. I know guys who need to do same stick handling moves. Like, I don't know, you see Crosby stick handling around the McDonald's logo before games or stuff like that. I mean, like, I know guys on our team that like have to get dressed from left to right, everything left first to right, but I'm not one of those guys, honestly.
Yeah, my like superstition is like specifically to not have one. Like if I do something and I have a good game, I'll do something completely different the next day. So awesome. I don't think that I had a good.
That's a good way. That's a good way to have it, though. That's a good way to have it. I think. My only one is like tape my ankles. I get my left ankle tape first before I. But like, I don't know. I try not to dip too deep into that. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna start this question off. I saw an interview one time. I think it was during COVID, so it was like they were kind of distance apart, and the guy, it was an NHL player. I can't remember who it was, but the guy didn't even get. Exactly. You know what I'm talking about?
Zach Hyman.
Yeah, it's Hyman. You're right. It's Hyman.
He's like talking to the guy, and he's like, "Yeah, I think I got you."
Yeah. He thought he asked the question, but didn't even ask the question yet, and he just gave him the most like cliche hockey answer, like, "Oh yeah, we dumped it in the zone, we got the forecheck going, we made sure to work hard on the back check." Is there anything you guys use where it's like you just go to that? Because like mine is like. You sitting there and you're looking at the box score, you're like, oh yeah, this is a really good ball club. They're really well coached. One of those deals. You guys got any of those?
No, I sort of like if it's post game, I'll just sort of recite exactly what Motzko told us. Like if he was telling us that we didn't get to the net front enough, I'll go to the media and tell them that we didn't get to the net front enough. No, I don't know. Actually, it's sort of. I wish hockey interviews kind of like you could make jokes with like people asking you questions. Where I feel like hockey's like way too like.
So serious.
Everyone's so serious. Yeah, it's the same answers all the time. I kind of wish it was like more like basketball, where it's like you have jokes like, like NBA, like what is it, NBA and TNT, like like Shaq and them.
Just
like
hilarious.
It's so funny. Like I wish hockey was more like that. Like that would be so much fun. But it's always like the most generic answers ever.
Well, sometimes you guys got so many dang Russians in the NHL. You guys don't even know the language.
Yeah.
We only got Victor Wembanyama from France, so he can figure it out. But.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right, so we're going to transition into some video. We're going to break down some plays. I'm going to show each of you some of your top goals from your time as a Gopher. And then, when I'm showing Bryce's top goals, me and Jimmy are going to kind of discuss them. And then when I'm talking about Jimmy's goals, me and Bryce are going to kind of discuss them. So we got them up here on video. So let's take a look here. We got Bryce's videos first here.
Junior year.
Oh, my.
The Patience.
Yeah.
The Selly.
Who was that against? Mercyhurst?
Mercyhurst.
I think that was early.
They were good.
Early in the year.
That was the first weekend. Yeah, they were actually really good.
That was the first weekend.
Put 23's jockstrap in the stands.
Almost fell over.
Didn't get the water bottle off though, unfortunately. We got Penn State here.
Oh, this is last year, I think.
Yeah. I miss those jerseys.
I've seen a couple of those goals from power play from Bruce.
Yeah. Is that the goal? You go top left there?
Yeah. I love it. I usually go high glove, but closer's kind of figured me out, so he just keeps his hand up there now.
Yeah, I remember that goal. We got swept that weekend, I think. No.
We swept that weekend.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
This is at Michigan State here.
Yep.
Is that Nevers?
Oh, my. I remember seeing that one from the bench. That was one of the quicker releases I've ever seen.
Dude, some of those kind of, you're like, dang, that just went in. Ever, like, moment?
No, that was... I remember that specifically being like, I can't believe that worked.
Yeah, because I feel like in basketball, it's not really like the thing. Like you made the shot, or like some of these are like, how the hell did that go in? Excuse my language.
Yeah, ear hole. I've seen a couple of those
ear hole.
There's the glove. Michigan State again, back at home.
It's gotta be backhand 5. Oh no, that was
going backhand.
No, that was my one at Michigan.
Oh yeah, Michigan State.
Dude, some of these are like the one thing, and like. I'll watch, hockey clips all the time, and it's like so hard for me to tell like where it goes. I'm like, oh, I thought that went 5-hole, and it just like was like a backhand top.
Yeah.
Like the slow motion helps me out a lot. Jimmy, which one on there is you think best one? If you had to pick one out,
I think I gotta go with the away at Michigan State, the quick release. I mean, that was. I feel like I don't know. Was it in the first period?
No, I think it was end of the game.
Oh, third. So it
Yeah,
was third period, but I mean that release was pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Ear hole too.
Yeah, I'm kind of just getting familiar with this whole release term. I've been watching like the Bedard videos where he brings it in tight, and I'm like, I actually have a stick in my room, and and I have a puck, and I try to like bring it in, and I like just messing around with it in my free time just for the hell of it. But yeah, those are good ones. All right, let's go on to Jimmy's here.
Finally.
Let's see if we can. I bet you see a couple one-timers here.
Oh, immediately one-timer.
Oh, I didn't even know what I called it. There it is.
That was your hattie? That was a hattie goal, right?
Yeah.
Did we get any hats on the ice in that?
I remember that, though. It's like
he
gets a first hat trick the same game as his first career goal.
Oh,
and I played 4 years. I hadn't had a hat trick yet. And it's like, it's so dumb how easy it is.
Yeah. What's the deal on the hat? Did you get your hat back? Because I've always was like, do I get my hat back if I throw it over the?
They were in my stall after the game. It's
they
like
bring a big garbage bag,
all the hats
full
on
of
there.
hats.
Really?
They put it in your stall.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Never
That's a
want
sweet way to do it.
But you can sift through it and you can find some.
Yeah, you find some beauties.
I remember seeing a couple of DMs after that game, like, "Yo, that was my favorite hat. I need that."
Like, appreciate you throwing it, bro. You gotta respond to those ones for sure too.
Yeah.
Definitely some where it's like you're not responding, but those you gotta respond to. All right, let's keep it flowing here. Badgers.
Oh, I know this one.
Nelson
Nelson
down
to
there.
Jimmy.
Nice. Looks tired.
Classic.
Oh. Is that top left?
Yeah.
I feel like we scored again immediately after that.
Yeah, because I remember they took a 5 and they were up 2-0 maybe.
Was
I
that?
think I scored immediately after that.
Oh yeah, no, yeah,
I passed it to Luke. Yeah, that's what it was.
Was that Strammel's 5?
Yeah, he headbutted Faves.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. I remember that.
That's funny.
We got St. Thomas here. Is this year?
Oh yeah.
This is the overtime.
Yeah.
I was actually at this game at the X.
Look at these defensemen and stuff.
Neither of them wanted to guard you.
Beat them.
You do it.
Up.
You take them. You do it.
The Selly.
I don't know what they were doing.
Attacking the net. I love that one. I feel like that's one where just like the goalie's just pissed at the D. He's like, "What are you doing? Like, how do you just let somebody come in and go one-on-one with me?" Bryce, what's your favorite one on there? Obviously, you have a couple different options, but
I think the hat trick goal is probably my favorite. It's just because like you're at the blue line taking a slap shot with no one in front of the net, and it still goes in. Like you got to have a pretty insane shot.
How is like the effect of like having somebody in front of the net? Like how much does that really help when it comes to like a shooter?
It's like ridiculous. Yeah. Like it's like that's kind of like our biggest thing. Like last weekend, like we watched film yesterday about like our whole thing was just getting to the net. Like we had 50 shots, and I bet you 48 of them he saw. So it's like Nelson's goal, he was in front of the net, he tipped one in. It's like it's a crazy like difference. Just like if you have a guy there, like not only for the goalie not being able to see the puck, but kind of getting a defenseman that has to be on you now, as opposed to being side of the net that you can kind of play in the passing lane and whatnot. So it's like a ridiculous. Like I bet you if you pulled up the stats on it, like the odds of like a goal going in if you're in front of the net increases by like 75%.
Yeah, it's such an impressive thing too, because like obviously Jimmy is more of a shooter. You're kind of in the shooting roles where other people are tipping, but like. I remember the Duluth game last week, and you just had a couple like that were just in the neutral zone where you just like tip the puck down with the hand-eye, and I'm like, how much is that kind of worked on in practice, or is like that kind of more just a skill that you have from just like playing, hockey your whole life?
I think it has to do with both a little bit. I think we do a lot of. I mean, this past 2 weeks we've done a lot more stopping at the net.
Yeah.
And it comes with that the D shoot it from the top, and you have to tip it. And I think that you don't do it as much growing up in Pee-wees and Bantams, but when once you get to a higher level of hockey, you kind of have to do it every time. So I think it just kind of comes a little natural throughout your career. Yeah,
it becomes such a vital part of the game. I feel like transitioning from the videos here, we want to try a little segment. We're going to try the slept on segment. This is a segment where we're going to do each episode to give some love to one of your teammates, one of your guys that you see in practice every day. And how much work they put in, whether it's on the ice or whether it's helping do a scout or that kind of thing. We call them glue guys, guys that maybe go underappreciated. So each of you, I kind of want you to think of one guy that kind of pops in your mind this year that is kind of one of those slept on guys that deserves to get a little bit more love. I personally think John Middlestat. Yeah, like he's like it's ridiculous. It's like well, in practice today, we were working on penalty kill and. He caused a turnover, and then
held the puck in the offensive zone 4-on-5 for 15 seconds and then passed to a guy wide open in the slot, and it's like only he would have made that play just because like how hard he works. And so yeah, I mean he's definitely a guy that I want to see get rewarded, and definitely one of the harder workers on our team, and if not one of the hardest. So yeah, I mean he's definitely a guy that I'm kind of ready to see kind of have things go his way.
Gets the game too. Comes from
Absolutely.
a hockey family, understands how to play the game. Yeah, no doubt. Jimmy, you got a guy?
I would go with John if he didn't say that, but I think I would go with a freshman Jimmy Clark right now. He's
grinding.
You know, Mott he's starting to realize that Clarkie's a player and he really gets the game. And it was a late decision for Clarkie to come here, and he didn't even know if he was going to or not. Obviously coming off of Green Bay, but I mean he's giving 100%. Every shift, every time in practice. He just does little things that not all players can do. So I think just kind of him having that aspect of his game it's only going to help him.
Yeah, recently got his first goal too. It's good to see that kind of payoff. That was sweet. So the slept on. That's the slept on. We call that the slept on shout out segment. Let's hit some rapid fire questions as we continue to close it up here. For both of you guys, so I'll ask, kind of both of you guys talked about this earlier. Black tape or white tape?
White tape. Yeah.
White tape.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't see my blade if I have black tape.
That's fair.
And I got a white stick, so I can't.
Yeah. Might change now. Tongue on the skate, tucked or untucked, and is it just horrible one way or the other? You guys think?
I do tucked, and I don't like how Luke Middleset looks with it untucked.
He looks super bad at hockey. Tucked for sure.
I saw the Krill's jersey like out the back of the what is that? You guys see that? Like someone was hanging out the back of his jersey.
All-fight strap, maybe.
I don't even know what it was, but I thought it was like, what is this? He doesn't look clean at all. I don't know.
He's Russian, so.
There you go.
The crazier thing about Krill actually is he cuts his tongue.
Does he?
Yeah, he cuts the tongue off his skate, so I don't know. People
Isn't that kind of like hard? Like you would have to use like an industrial scissor to cut that
the
off?
equipment manager probably does it, but it's pretty insane.
What's your favorite hockey jersey of all time? Could be any league, any level, maybe something you played in, or I play a lot of Ultimate Team, and I'm wearing some the Idaho Snow Dogs. That's my jersey right now with my Ultimate Team, and they're filthy. So that's kind of what I'm rocking with. But what are your guys'?
I like our golds from last year.
Golds?
Those are like.
Fire.
Or like my thirds from high school, with like the Boston Bruins B.
We're gonna have to pull that one up too, Dan.
That might be one you find in the archives. But I think the golds from last year, our Wooger jerseys, are like my favorite jerseys that I've ever had in my entire life. Those are sweet.
I love the cross.
Diagonal. Yeah, the diagonal Gopher is like so nice. It's my favorite,
for Christmas last year, I got the white one with the Gophers diagonal. One of my favorite ones.
Yeah,
I needed a new one for sure.
I think I like the Penguins growing up. So the Penguins outdoor jersey in 2013. I don't know what year it was, but it's like light blue.
Yeah.
Baby
cool color.
Penguin in the middle. I think that's my favorite jersey.
Dope. Yeah, that's a cool color. Favorite Big Ten trip when it comes to hockey could be the barn, could be the location. It's a tough question.
That is a tough question.
Because there's some good
Not
options
Wisconsin,
because
we have the bus there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's the worst.
I've only obviously played the 1 year, but I liked going to Penn State a lot. It was a calm campus. I took a walk.
It's a sweet campus. It's so such a cool college feel. Yeah.
Good ice cream spot too.
Really good ice cream spot actually.
Okay.
Yeah, the ice cream crew.
You have to find a day for that.
Yeah,
a little
really
shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with Penn State. I think it's just their student section makes it super fun. So like you go out for warm-ups and they have all their signs by the glass. And,
kind of like that NHL feel.
Just playing in a hostile environment is like, it's up there with playing in your home barn that's sold out. It's just it's a cool experience, and Penn State's kind of far away, so you kind of get away for a little bit.
And they're always solid too.
They're always good. I mean, they're the same. They play the same way every single time. They try to outscore you, so that's definitely a fun weekend to play, especially if you can play some defense. You're going to get a lot of offense. So
that's a funny answer to me, because Penn State, when we went to Penn State 2 years ago, it was deader than dead. Like there was nobody there. Yeah. We had like 3 guys with COVID trying to play, and we were just like sick. It was just like a zero energy environment. So I'm glad that they have some hockey going on for them up there. You guys got pregame meals? Go to pregame meals that you stay consistent with at all, or day before or anything like that?
I switch mine up every day.
Yeah, I went to Chipotle last weekend before Friday's game, so might stick with that for a little bit.
Okay, that works.
But that's just because I like Chipotle.
Chipper's working right now.
Yep.
What's the weirdest hockey superstition? Obviously, we kind of talked about you don't really have any, but like maybe you've seen somebody else have that you've played with or like, heard of or anything like that.
I don't know if he still does this, but Lane Hudson, he plays for Boston University. My 17 year, he wouldn't talk to anyone before the games, like not one word until he would step on the ice. I don't think he does it out. Like last year, I played with him a little bit. He didn't do it, but I mean that was one of the crazier things I've seen.
It's in his zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no doubt.
I know Nevers goes to the bathroom at the same time, like when we're getting ready, like after warm up. So that's one of them. I know he was like complaining to me how bad he had to go to the bathroom, but he couldn't go because he
gotta wait.
Yeah, but yeah, that's one of the only ones I can actually think of.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Kind of just wrapping up with that. Kind of want to just mention having Mikey and Mason back out there. How does that feel for you guys? Obviously, there's two guys that have been around the program, and you just love the way Mikey plays, his feistiness and his energy, and never just making the right plays. How does that feel to have those guys back out there on the ice with you guys?
It's really nice, honestly. Like even to have them in the locker room as leaders too,
Yeah.
It always helps. But I mean, Mikey and those two just kind of understand college hockey. They've been around the game for a while. They know what it takes for a team to win. And then you obviously put Bruce and Closer and Nelly in it with the older guys. Like we have a really good old core right now, and they're kind of holding our team together right now, and holding our freshmen accountable. And I think that as we grow here on, it'll only get better.
Awesome,
Yeah.
good deal.
I mean, those two guys they're super good guys. So you want to see them succeed, and
Yeah.
it's just good to have them back on the ice and put themselves in a spot where they can. And so, it's good having kind of reliable guys that have been there before. And so, just kind of guys that you go out on the ice with them, and you're not afraid to kind of try something extra just because they're out there and have your back. So, good to have those guys back for sure.
Fun for me too as a fan to see those guys back out there and just Nevers plays the game the right way, and then I just love the way Mikey competes, and I like to get a little bit more physical out there. I like when Mikey's butting some heads and and getting
Were you
gritty.
here when we played Alaska?
No.
It was my junior year, I think. There was like a kind of a scrum at the end of our Alaska game,
Mm-hmm.
and Mikey's helmet got ripped off. And I remember him like skating back to the bench, and he like shouldered a guy. It was like
I actually think I remember that.
He was so bad. That was the funniest. We lost, and that was the hardest I've ever laughed at something in my entire life, just because like Mikey was bright red every time he gets flustered, like bright red face, like skating off the ice with no helmet off, like shouldered a guy.
That true energy.
He just like when he gets mad about something, it's like life or death. Like he just wants to like rip someone's head off, and just love the guy because he's always competitive with everything that he does, and so
Awesome.
he's a funny dude.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, fellas, appreciate you guys coming in here today. Obviously, I'm looking forward to watching you guys the rest of the year. Hopefully continue some success and, get back in that Frozen Four like we were last year. But appreciate you guys being here. And that's it for episode 1 of Gopher Round Table presented by Affinity Plus. Stay tuned for episode 2.